All right, we're live?
We're live.
Awesome. Okay, welcome back, everybody. This is the Gregory and Paul Show. I'm Gregory.
I'm Paul.
And we break down the latest in startups, SaaS, AI, whatever the internet has been debating this weekend. Boy, is there a lot of things that people have been discussing,
Crazy.
debating. I cannot believe how much stuff we have to talk about this week. And of course, we always aim high. We like to think that at least at the very, very, very edge of what we do, we have smart takes, but we know, especially ones that seem to be popular on YouTube, we have a lot of dumb ones.
Are the dumb ones. That's right.
Which is fine. That's okay with us. And of course, we love memes way too much.
We love memes every single week. So we live stream every single week, Fridays, noon Pacific and 3 p.m. Eastern, on X and LinkedIn. And we post the videos straight to YouTube afterwards. And drum roll, please. We're actually on podcasting platforms. So Apple Podcast.
Oh my God.
Huge.
Congratulations.
After 16 episodes, we finally got around to it. By popular demand.
And we put all the back episodes, all 16 are now live on Spotify and Apple.
That's right. Spotify and Apple.
We didn't pick any of those other third-party podcast platforms. I have no idea who uses them, but
yeah, there's apparently 15 different indexes that you
right?
can also.
There's like a whole bunch of other ones. I can't even. There was Google Podcast had some reach, but like I think they got rid of it. Correct?
I don't even know.
Who knows what products Google has live? No one. Not even Google.
No one cares. No one cares.
I think. So awesome, dude. I'm super happy that you got there.
Yeah, we promised we'd do this after 5 episodes. We waited until 16, but now it's,
Oh my God. And before we introduce our guest, yes, you're correct. I am coming live from an empty house. I'm moving.
I like the echo.
Yeah, we got a new place. It is completely empty. There is nothing in here except for like a Wi-Fi router that I'm using as of course, like I had some delivery and they're like, you need to be there. I'm like, this is really inconvenient. So I'm sure I will get interrupted during the live stream. I have to run down and let some guy into the place. But that's fine.
It's awesome. You're like a real hacker now. It was like
fake hacker, fake Steve Jobs.
Yeah, San Francisco hackers with nothing but a mattress on the ground.
Well, that's why so you should. Can you put the photo of Steve Jobs up?
Oh yeah, yes.
Yeah, it was really funny. I was sitting in this empty home, and I know I'm old, and I remember all these Steve Jobs things because, like, he obviously was very inspiring to me when I was younger. But I was around for Steve Jobs, which a lot of people listening to this might not be. And there's this incredible photo of him that supposedly he lived in this empty house in Sunnyvale most of his life with a Tiffany lamp and a bed. I don't know if he made toast at home or just like went to the vegan sushi chef that he loved in Sunnyvale. But yeah, he had this very Spartan existence. It's funny. I'm sitting in this empty place and I'm like, oh my God, that photo just came to mind. And I thought we could kick off the show with that.
How long did he do this for? Like his entire life?
I have no idea. Like it's awesome marketing. My best guess is like he just filmed took a great photo and put a great story around it. I find it really hard to believe that he just lived here. Yeah. And then he did have like a family and stuff. So I can't imagine that his wife was like, this is great. Let's just have one bed and a lamp. I find that hard to believe. But I do believe that when he was like, younger and like when Apple had first
25, 30.
Yeah, if you read this article, which I won't bore everyone with, but it does mention that this was prior to his ouster at Apple. So we don't know the full story. That's okay. But he started Apple when he was very young, took off. And then at some point, he was so difficult to work with. The board and the management, everyone teamed up to like get rid of him. I'm sure that was right around that point because there's some quotes from the CEO that they brought in to replace Steve Jobs, who eventually perhaps drove the company to the ground, and Steve Jobs had his triumphant return like Napoleon and created some of the most incredible inventions of all time. It's just the best story ever.
Amazing. I love the guy. Of course, they're mentioning Occam's razor. Nice.
that article's good, so we'll share it after. All right, let me introduce our guest here today. So Stanley is a designer that we've both been chatting with for a long time. on X. And I wrote you a nice little bio here. So
Yes, thank you.
you're welcome. You're welcome. Stanley's a creative director, founder of Be Curious Studio, working at the intersection of brand, product, and sensory design. With over 20 years of experience, he helps visionary teams craft emotionally resonant products, identities, and experiences that build cultural relevance and lasting things. Through his work with Brutally Human and Matisse, is that the right pronunciation of that?
Correct, yes.
Stanley, oh yeah, all right, nailed that one. Finally, Stanley has led projects for global brands, developed innovative tools like Sentinotes, and taught design to creatives worldwide.
Yeah.
His current exploration includes the Department of Time, reflects his ongoing mission to help people and brands connect more deeply with meaning, intention, and emotion. Welcome to the show.
I love
Welcome.
it. Thank you so much. It's funny. It takes so many efforts to write a personal bio, and you kind of just nailed it within 5 seconds. It's amazing. Love it.
We
Thank you
get
so
some
much
things
for
right
having
here.
me.
Not everything. Very few
Some
things.
Right. No, but that's what I'm saying. Like that's the power of being a writer and marketer. Like you understand the right pieces to pick out. So I love
Dude,
it.
it's
Thank you for the introduction.
You're welcome. It's awesome to have you here. I was going to get all dressed up, then I found out I had to like sit in my empty apartment. So, because I wanted to celebrate getting us up on all the podcast platforms. We talked about it forever.
That's true.
And then Stanley, I think you're an excellent designer. I love your work, and I followed you
thank
for a long time. So thank you for coming on.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for it's really cool to kind of be on a chat with friends. Usually when I do these things, I never met the people prior, so this is really interesting, a new dynamic for me. So I love it. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's I mean, for me too, like a big part of this is just being really raw, and like we both like always stream in from where we are in a hotel, in an empty apartment, in our place, right? I think that's one of the aspects of the
Streets of
internet.
Brooklyn.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's the beauty of that. Like to me,
I love it.
I'm a person that is more reactive, so I'm in the moment. If I have to plan and think about it too much, I get way into my head and I kind of just lose patience. So to me, like no script, nothing, just let's talk about it. At the end of the day, idea discussed is idea shared, right? So everything else around is fluff.
100%. I feel really strongly about it. Like the pandemic kind of broke down a lot of barriers where prior to that, even there's all these photos of me like all dressed up and stuff at work. And I used to do these very formal events, right? These formal press releases. And I was like really into it. And that was just kind of what I think you needed to do in order to be taken seriously as a business like 5 years ago. Unfortunately, it doesn't matter what I think about it. That's what I think the world was about. And I remember the day when I saw Larry Ellison on his phone from Hawaii, where we were like sending some update. And I was like, oh my God, like the world is different now. Like you can just be, or I think it's that the internet is just, it's intertwined into your life. And we all like accept that now. And so the idea to just like jump on these live streams and do these calls, just be very real and not try to mimic or copy professional media, I think is what everyone was trying to do. In the old days, trying to aspire to be like CNBC or CNN or a film. And now it's very different. And now when I watch like the professional news, it seems very old and fake to me.
It's old. Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, there was a brief moment in the early 2000s or like mid 10s. There was two prominent shows, the Mad Men and the Silicon Valley, and they both almost like symbolized the end of one era and the beginning of a next one. And I was caught in between the two because so working from New York City in traditional like Mad Men style agencies, I felt the same way. Like I had to dress up, like I would wear a suit. But then you see shows like Silicon Valley that started, like, especially the rise of startups, started signaling the t-shirts, the hoodies, and everything else. So it's kind of like it was a weird scenario. But I still feel that even now, like at a very high level, like when you speak about like let's say old money, I think those guys still do rock a more professional attire, I would imagine, than just like a hoodie. It's only like I feel like really accepted through the Silicon Valley lens of like the tech startups. That is like whatever, do whatever you want.
No, I agree. So I grew up in the East Coast, and I did work in big agencies, and I've seen every episode of Mad Men probably twice or three times. Like I love that show. It's very accurate, and I remember all of that. I remember like even being a part of that to some degree. But I made a conscious decision to move to the West Coast and embrace the like free and easy startup life, which was like a niche thing. It wasn't popular or something that everyone aspired to. And then that all kind of changed as like these little tiny exotic tech companies became like world dominating businesses. Like it's insane what happened. And so of course everybody wants to be like them now.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah, let's jump into some. We got so much to talk about, and I'm sure Stanley has lots of opinions on all this stuff. So,
oh boy,
we put you in the spotlight.
Let's do it.
Okay, what's first?
Let's do the OpenAI Sora stuff. We have to talk about that. I don't see how we can do anything else.
Thank you, by the way, thank you for the invite into that chaos.
Oh yeah, I sent you. And did you play with it at all, Sora?
For 5 minutes. I posted something, I deleted it, and then played around, and I got confused and angry.
There's so much to talk. Anyway, so this is great. I wanted to start with this because there was a bunch of people being critical of Sam Altman, basically throwing back what he said, like to Congress, about how much he loved it and how much they were mission driven and how they were trying to like essentially cure cancer. And now they've released an AI slop tool, right? So I think it's fair to like be critical of that like have their ambitions perhaps changed. But I also think it's cool that like he like responded. I don't know if he had the best response. I don't know what I would do if I was in his situation. Like I've already said, like I think it's easy to criticize him. I think it's a very, very hard job to be CEO of OpenAI. It's got a lot of different stakeholders to please, from like crazy people in Tokyo who've given him billions and billions of dollars to very powerful people in Redmond who've also given him billions and billions of dollars to people who have decided he is their arch nemesis, like Elon, right? I mean, there's a lot going around Sam Altman. Like that does not sound like an easy job. I do not envy it at all. And so I do appreciate that he did write back and try to rationalize at least a little bit what was going on here.
It's really cool that so like first of all he's writing back. The second of all is there's a lot of people remixing his face on the social media network now. On Sora. So for those that's still not doesn't have access to Sora yet, Sora is essentially like a social media. And you can remix people's faces using them. Is this you?
Yeah, that's me. Yeah, I did it. Those are all me.
Right. So, which is super cool, right? You can essentially put yourself or somebody else that's on Sora into these imaginary scenarios. Yeah. Sam Altman's face is all over Sora right now.
Yeah, so we should explain. So one thing I want to say, like, so what I did like about the tweet that he wrote back, he says, "I get the vibe here." I like that he admitted, or at least was like empathetic, saying like he understands what's going on. So I thought that was cool. And then this tool. So for people that don't know, the Sora, it's the all fake, let's call it TikTok clone that OpenAI released. And so, Paul, did you log in? So when you log in, there's like a system where you can put yourself into it. So you take your phone and you look up and you look down and you say some numbers, which I guess that's how they record your voice. And then you can make like deep fakes of yourself. And it was really impressive. So I said, make me doing skateboard tricks with my glasses on. And like, it did a great job. It had some cool skateboard music and stuff. It was really fun. And I had the other one do it. So make me the lead singer of a New York City 80s straight edge band and dive off the stage at CBGB's. And like, it basically nailed it. Scroll down. We can show that one. But it was I find the technology to be like really impressive.
I think so too. So like, I'm trying to get the app.
Do you think they vibe coded the app itself?
I have no idea. I don't think they did it the hard way.
Make me a copy of TikTok.
Stanley, did you get on there? Did you make any deep fakes or?
No, I did the onboarding process, which felt very eerie. Then I played around with it, and I kind of give up. I think I have to spend a little more time on it. But it was such a weird thing because it felt like, I think it's like the effect of like too early to the party, and everybody's like sporadically doing their own things, but there was no unity. Like there's no organizations of channels, or like I didn't know. I don't know. I just felt very disconnected. There was this pieces of social, but it wasn't really social. I don't know. Maybe I didn't spend enough time on it, so I don't want to prematurely say things that are good or bad about it. But yeah,
Yeah, that was my experience too. There was like there wasn't that much content. I feel like I started seeing the same things, and it's very similar content, and it seemed like maybe could be more social features.
it really felt like regular Sora that now have an avatar of a creator to it. That's it. That's the best
Right.
way I can describe it.
Yeah,
Which to
but
me felt like, what is the social component here?
I did like that. Like the quality is very good. So a lot of the early, and I think some of the other AI tools out there that create text image, they just look cartoony, they look fake, and they kind of all look very similar. This like made stuff that looked totally real. Like there's a couple other deep fakes or things I made of myself where I was like, it was just frightening. Like I wasn't gonna post it because I just as a test, and it was like it was so real. I had to post it because I was shocked.
The quality was so good. I really enjoyed the platform. I think I would consume this more than Instagram or TikTok.
Yeah, you're a fan.
Sick
I'm a
person, are
huge-
you?
I see the vision. I see you can literally
What's
just
the
write
vision?
write a prompt.
Yeah, sell
right?
us on this. I'm not sold either. Come on, Paul. Tell us why this is a great. Why
Write a
people are gonna
prompt.
love this.
You
Okay.
can imagine like yourself in any situation. If you have friends on there, you can tag your friend, and you can be remixed together in any kind of situation you can imagine. I think that's cool, right? Like you could be in like a Lord of the Ring scene together on Sora.
You must have really like good-hearted friends, because I'd be afraid to have my friends remix anything of
Yeah. Okay. So to that point, there is a lot of content policy on Sora. So about like 50% of my prompts, they won't generate a video. Just say like you can't use trademarked stuff, you can't use these phrases. But like I really like it. I think it's cool. It's not like anything else out there.
Dude. I think
That's
it's
true. I'll give you that.
It's unique.
I think it's super gimmicky. I don't think it'll be popular at all. I think the technology is really impressive.
Yeah.
Incredibly impressive, and the novelty of like playing around it was like mind blowing. Like I
Right.
was incredibly like impressed with how it worked. But I tried to like log in it the day after, and I just was like, why would I even want to go on here? Like create fake content, me doing fake things so other fake people could see. Like it felt like purposeless. So I think with like Instagram or TikTok, the value prop is that you see someone else that you know or yourself doing things that are interesting, or even they're just kind of normal things, right? This like it's all fake things that I just struggle to find like,
Well, okay.
why would I want to do that? And maybe I'm just totally old and like missing the point, which is
What-
fair.
What if you like, you could just put yourself into a TV show, right? Or you and your friends just make up a storyline and then just animate it out.
Yeah. So I feel so okay. I think here it goes. I think this is going to end up like virtual worlds. So there was a point where I did a lot of stuff with some early virtual worlds with like Second Life and stuff.
Yeah.
And one of the applications, so it was like and one of the things we tried to do was like create these like virtual world advertisement experiences for video games.
Mhm.
And the video game people were like, these virtual worlds are stupid. They're just video games with no narrative and no point. I think they were dead on. I think this is the same thing. So I think what you're suggesting is true, but the reason that that's valuable and interesting to people is because the narrative and the brand and the experience that has value. So you want to be in Star Wars because Star Wars is spectacular. But like to just a randomly made up place that you dreamed up, which is basically what it tries to do, right? Because it's got like copyright materials.
Yeah.
And your friends go this like fake knockoff version of Tubby Land or whatever. It's like, who wants to do that? It's super lame. Like you want to be in Star Wars, but that would be like a cool Star Wars episode. I do see applications for it, But the idea that it's like an unbranded, generic world where people don't really have any mission or goal is really lame. And I remember the end of the virtual world trend where there was all these random virtual worlds where you just kind of walked around and didn't do a whole lot. You're supposed to socialize. Is when one of the versions of Grand Theft Auto came out that had like a multiplayer option, and all my friends were like, dude, you can go in here and like shoot at each other and like do stuff. Like, why would we go into a virtual world where we have to like make up the narrative? Which I think says a lot about like professional creativity, brands, professional storytelling, that there is a place for all of that. And I think that's what a lot of the people, maybe even driving some of this, are missing.
So you think that people are just not creative enough to fully utilize?
I think it's deeper than that. I think the Star Wars, I think, is a very good example. The fact that it's like a shared narrative. So I could have just made Star Wars on my own and no one else knows about it, and it would have no value. The reason that it's so valuable is that when I say Darth Vader, you know exactly what I mean, and you know all of the like memes, and it's hilarious or it's scary or whatever it is, like, because we all share that fiction. The sharing of the fiction and the brand, the collective understanding is what is incredibly valuable about movie franchises, sports heroes, and people want to be part of that. Like, you don't want to be in the knockoff Star Wars. Like, if we made a fake Star Wars, it's just like, right? It's like, it's laughable, right? It's like, why would I want to be in the off-brand version? Like, that's like
I'd love to
literally
be
like a joke.
Spaceballs.
Spaceballs.
Yeah.
I'd love to be that.
The Orville.
Yeah.
I mean, there were people who licensed it, right? Wasn't there like rules about it? You could like license your stuff in, and people could make Pikachu and they could make other stuff. So
yeah, I see where you're going with this.
It has potential. That's why I don't want to like just totally write it off. Like, I'm not saying that like, maybe the best way to frame it for me is like, I see a lot of valuable technology and potential.
Yeah.
I see some drawbacks. And so I think I'm like humble enough perhaps to say like, I don't really know how it's going to play out. I think it's got a lot of potential. Some of it was really, really impressive, but I also see some angles where like, I don't know if it'll catch on. Like it's kind of gimmicky. So
I
don't know.
I think from what you described, you're just talking about culture, right? Like Star Wars is part of culture now for US and
yeah, but okay, but maybe I think it's important that it is a brand which has IP, which has copyright protection, which means there's ownership. Whereas something like there's other things that are in the public domain and aren't necessarily a brand, like skateboarding. So everyone knows what skateboarding is, and I made that skateboarding video, and it's kind of fun, and we understand like what skate culture is kind of about, and so we can share in that. So there are examples of other types of like shared cultural phenomenons, or let's call skateboarding a brand, that don't have the technical or legal aspects that things like Star Wars do. So there's different categories of these things, which matters from like a business model perspective and an economic perspective.
Like, I mean, for my generation, for skateboard, like Tony Hawk made a huge. We really like for my generation. I don't think for myself, I really didn't know skateboard before, let's say, Tony Hawk. That's what
But it's the same. It's like Tony Hawk is let's say, the beginning of the creator type of world where creators get paid to. So just like any tech, Sora 2 can potentially become that, where there's this unknown land until some young kid comes along and creates this mini world.
I see.
And then as he gains popularity through remixes and friends, brands come to him like, hey, include me in your next episode, or include me in your next reel or whatever. So it's like, it's a form, it's a medium, right? It's a form of expression of sort. It's a new way of expressing yourself, but at the end of the day, it's still just that. And I think just like product, when it comes to product design, there's these phases that a product goes through. Is that as a creator, you can imagine it to be whatever you choose to be. Ultimately, the masses decide its purpose, right? And so I think maybe the creation of it was one part of its journey, but now the public mass will decide. And unfortunately, in a lot of cases, greed is one of the first things that steps into new and dominates, because people want to monetize quickly. They want to figure out the best way and the easiest way to make as much money as possible, and they just overflow the market with garbage. It's the same thing you see with Midjourney, same thing you see with anything, the NFTs, the Web3. It's all comes from that. Is that we aren't patient enough to really invest into good storytelling or making a good use case of this platform. It's really just about how quickly can I capitalize on it.
No,
Got it.
fantastic point. I think so. That's why I say this thing might end up being really popular. Like, actually, what it made me think of when you were just talking about celebrities and brands participating of the early Twitter. So part of the strategy when Twitter first came out was like they encouraged celebrities and other well-known people to use the platform. And the innovation was that you could like chat directly with them, which now we all take for granted, right? So I think you're making a great point that like this platform might end up doing something like that. If I was Sam Altman, that would be my marketing strategy, is like get celebrities, get people to get on there, and then you can like use their likeness, or I can make stuff with them, or get brands in there, right? Like if you license the Mad Men technology or the IP or whatever, and then you can put yourself in an episode of Mad Men. Like that stuff sounds actually quite fun and really awesome. Like I would get behind that, and I could see a lot of potential. And there's an obvious business model, right? The brands pay, maybe people pay for the $1 in the episode. It's kind of cool, right? So I think there's potential. I get negative too about it, but it's new. It's that's the way.
That would be cool. You know, like that. I think you just nailed it, right? Like paying for being able to cameo or remix their likelihood.
If you could take episodes of Mad Men and then put yourself in there and kind of adjust it,
I would pay that.
I would pay them all day long.
Yeah,
I'd send them to my dad and stuff. Like, oh my god, like, isn't this funny? It'd be great.
Yeah, and make Don Draper say things. You know, I would pay money for that.
Do we have any other Sam Altman stuff we need to talk about, or did we do enough? Is there anything else important here? I think we're good, right?
I mean, OpenAI is what the most valuable product.
Yeah, that's important
today.
Yeah, that's important to mention, right? They're more valuable than SpaceX.
More valuable SpaceX, and also they sold a bunch of shares, secondary shares from their employees. I believe one of the big points is that only a small minority of their employees sold their shares. So a lot of their employees still believe that the valuation is going to keep going up. So
yeah, they very well might. I mean, you know what Jensen said, he thinks it's a $10 trillion company. So which is
okay,
aspirational, but like not impossible. It's not impossible at all.
I let's see. I don't know what a $10 trillion company will look like. It's going to have to be bigger than Google and Apple and Facebook combined. So we'll see.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm glad we mentioned that. I think that's actually important. It's quite interesting.
Yeah, very valuable company.
All right, I dropped this other one in there at the last minute this morning. I just wanted to mention this one.
Which link?
So it's about that company Frank and Charlie Javis. She was sentenced for the fraud where she sold her startup to JP Morgan for like $175 million or something.
Yeah, that's right. She had like a app or something for students, right?
A fintech startup, and they like faked the user numbers, and she sold it for a large sum to an investment bank. Mm-hmm. And we'll get all the details because there's a lot crazy to me about that. They didn't like verify it with a third party. They took their data for that word for that sum of money. Like there's a lot of like blame to go around perhaps. And why someone with such an elite background would feel the need to like defraud people. Like there's a lot of bizarre stuff. But what I wanted to point out here was that she is not the only one going to prison.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
There are other people.
Say more.
On the team who are also going to go to prison. So I believe the COO or no, Chief Growth Officer actually will also be going to prison for his part in the fraud. And buried in here is a director of engineering who refused to participate in facilitating the fraud, and he will not
Good for
be going to prison.
Engineer. Nice.
Yeah, and I thought this was really good for our audience, for people who are like tech enthusiasts, tech employees, entrepreneurs, people out there. Of course, like be honest, like I think that's a given. I will go on the record saying that. Like, do
Yeah.
not defraud people, take the high road, have character, like do all of those things, even when it's difficult. And I think that's what this points out here is like, if someone tells you to do something and participate in what you believe to be serious fraud, you are liable and you can go to prison.
Yeah.
So the fact that this guy refused to participate, I really wanted to highlight and stress to people that if anyone asks you to do that, this is also a similar dynamic played out with SBF and the crypto
Yeah,
world.
probably Theranos.
So I don't know if anyone else. So her partner Theranos went to prison too, right? But like rank and file employees, if you work there and you're just like the director of engineering and like you thought you just got a cool job, a cool startup, and like lo and behold, you walk in there and you're like, whoa, there's a lot of like stuff going on that I don't want to be a party to. You can be liable. So just be aware of that. And like that guy, I'm happy that he is a person of character and has some kind of moral compass that's set in the right direction. Because not only did he do the right thing, which I think is important, but he also saved himself from spending 5 to 7 years in an orange jumpsuit, which is the language that her and him use in their discussion.
Crazy.
So
do you think these things happen more often? We just don't hear about it. Like they settle.
Oh my God, I'm so glad you asked, because like my take is that I'm happy to see a gender balance in women executives committing white collar crime and going to prison in the same number of men. So it's always been something that men have traditionally taken part of, and I think it's fantastic that we're headed into a world
DEI
where like,
at work.
Yeah, totally.
DEI lives when it comes to defrauding people and committing white collar crime. I think that is an excellent point I wanted to make today.
It's cross-cultural,
cross-cultural gender balance in terms of people committing white collar crime.
It's one thing that unifies us.
We're one step closer to true equality.
At least in Gen Pop.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Okay, enough of that. It was funny. It deserved to be made fun of. Okay.
I think so as well. Okay, so we have like 6 pieces of random AI news because everybody's just decides to release everything this week.
This week, right? It's insane. Okay.
First week of October, I suppose. Claude Sonnet 4.5 just relaunched. The previous version was Claude 4.0. Of course, they are claiming to be the best coding model in the world, which I more or less agree. I've been using them. They're really good. They deeply integrating to Cursor. Claude is still, I think they found themselves a really good niche, which is just coding. They're not trying to be this like super intelligence like Meta or OpenAI is trying to be. They're squarely competing in their own arena, which is coding, software engineering. So I would like to see them keep doing this.
How different are they from Replit?
So Replit is like the tool that's built on top of these foundational models. Maybe they have a foundational model. I'm not 100% sure. How different Replit is from Cursor, not much these days. Cursor is going fully agentic as well. Claude is the LLM or the AI model that potentially drives both of these things underneath. So it's comparable to ChatGPT's Codex, which also is supposed to be the coding agent, the software engineering agent. They're all fairly similar. But
I love, because I've been Team Replit since I don't know how long, May, April,
and
I love like when I got into it, and then this whole thing of like, oh, you hear from engineers a lot that it's like this is just a gimmick, but like they're getting better and better and better, and I don't see it going away anywhere. It's just gonna be perfected within a year. Not
Yeah.
perfected, but to the point where you really don't need. But to be fair, like if you don't know how to code or design, you'd have a hella difficult time getting anywhere decent in terms of results.
Yeah. I have thoughts around this, right? Like I spend 20% of my coding time actually reading code. Now it's all 80% prompting. And I majority of the time I don't even check the code anymore.
So this is a hot take that maybe Gregory might agree with. That I feel that the best thing about all of this AI now and the prompting world is that people learn how to communicate better because you really need to have mastery of the language to get you the results that you want to get. So like communication with precision will definitely increase, I feel like.
I actually okay. So like we're contrarian here, but I'm gonna have a different take on that. I sort of disagree. Disagree in terms that like the way that I talk to machines is very different than I talk to a human being.
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay. I have a couple comments. One, everyone I know who is like on the engineering side or tech side, well, at least more than I am, they all say they get better results out of Claude, but I get better results out of ChatGPT. So maybe I'm an idiot, but somehow it just is able to do things that like and Claude it just won't do it. I don't know why. And I don't really care. And so I just go ask chat. It's like when mom says no, dad says yes. So I'm like, well, Claude, why are you telling me like this doesn't work? I'm like, let me go ask this guy. And then the other guy down the street's like, no problem. I'm like, this is great. For like a lot, like some of the technical things I want to do, I have no explanation at all, like why that is.
So
But
hot take, not verified, just completely anecdotal. I think it's based on your communication method. So like for Claude, if you're
interesting.
laying things that's very procedural, like an engineer, so like do this, if this, then that, Claude is very good at it. It's very good at following.
That's good
Uh,
feedback.
And another hot take is in the scenario of mom and dad, prompt mom to talk to dad.
Yeah, I do that actually all the
yeah.
time. I don't know why.
It works.
I
It's
see.
funny how that's like a natural, like it's a natural human reaction. Perhaps maybe it is like that innate. Like when you're a kid, you're like, oh, grandpa doesn't like it, so I'll go ask uncle, right? Like you kind of do that when you're a kid, and so maybe you just have this natural tendency to do that. Because I would do that all the time. I'm like, Claude is this is too frustrating. Let me ask you. I'm like, oh, okay, that works.
I did the entire the Department of Time app I built with Unreplit, but I had ChatGPT write all the commands for Replit.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that when I started just in Replit, it was a nightmare. I couldn't get anywhere for a while, and then I'm like, let me go talk to mom,
I do
and
that.
then mommy fixed it.
Yeah.
I do the same thing. Also, like I feel like ChatGPT is very good at doing things outside of its environment. So when I tell it like check out this web page or do this or do that, Claude seems to really guardrails or struggle with it. It doesn't seem to like when you want to operate out of like a certain set of parameters where it's comfortable.
Yeah. I agree with that. It's very like you have to tell it exactly what to do. It follows instructions very well, but if you're just arbitrarily telling it to like scrape a web page, it completely falls over. Right? I feel like.
Yeah,
Should we
Sorry,
talk
I feel
about?
like I
totally.
strayed you away from your procedural ways of doing things.
It's okay. I can parallel process. uh, what else? Gemini 3.0. I think Google's gonna win. I think we talked about this everywhere, but Google's just pushing out new things. 3.0. I use 2.5 heavily for content writing, content creating, content curation, and uh, writing. 3.0, I haven't tested it, but so far all of the benchmark is saying that it's really good.
I don't use Gemini very much actually.
I don't think I've ever used it.
It's the cheapest model. If you're doing a lot of if you're using a lot of like tokens, it's super cheap compared to GPT, compared to Claude.
Do you feel like this whole tokens and credits It's gonna be like the 90s boom of like the minutes that at
Like the
some
full
point.
minutes.
Yeah, like the phone minutes. Like at some point, like remember those CDs you'd get AOL, like 103 hours. So you just like get to write an email like off. Is that gonna be kind of the same there within a few years? That with because it really is such a like a road bump. Uh, I know
Yeah.
I think it's a real important point. I think all you can eat SaaS models don't work in that world if you have to pay for tokens.
Yeah, it has to
And
be usage now, right?
yeah, so usage-based pricing, I think, is becoming more popular. And now you see a lot of mixed models where you pay a subscription and then over a certain amount, you have to buy tokens or pay for usage. But usage-based models are becoming more popular for a lot of reasons. So I think it's one of the things that'll happen because of like the way tokens work with AI.
So like, so I think it's already happening. To answer your question, right? Like a lot of businesses, you have like you pay $50, but then you have to load up and buy different token packages.
yeah.
Yep.
It's super annoying. I hate it, but like I get it, right?
But it's super annoying also because when you give especially in coding when you give a prompt and it doesn't do anything but it takes up this credit like you literally didn't do shit
Yeah,
and you have
yeah,
to like
yeah.
so it's like super annoying because like you feel
Super
like
annoying.
you wasted money. So I get the whole point of like the credit, but it just I feel like there's gotta be a better model for it to be
Yeah,
widely used.
we're stepping backwards in terms of tech, right? The question that I have actually is like, so now that people remember, for example, like data was a thing, right? Like when I first had
Yeah.
my cell phone, I had like what 10 MB, and you saved those data for the most important like text messages. And then like now nobody ever thinks about data. So like a token is going to progress kind of similarly, I think.
Yeah.
Now everybody's thinking about tokens. Tomorrow or 5 years, hopefully nobody thinks about token.
Yeah, it'll get cheaper. I think it'll go away.
Right.
Okay, good. I'm ready.
So that yeah, I think it's gonna completely go away. Meta. What's Meta talking about this week?
Oh, right. This was the this was the like non-news. Like are just all the reporters back from vacation too? So Meta will use your AI chatbot conversations. Like what have they been doing since they went public? Like this is their business model. Like I'm surprised this is even
Yeah,
like
literally their business model.
I'm surprised this is even a news item.
I have noticed that Meta AI is introduced into all of their products now. So like Instagram, WhatsApp, you can message Meta AI to do stuff for you, like sending a. I think like the problem with Meta, everything Meta is, it's kind of like extra step. All of their AI is like in this super inconvenient middle person. So for like one of their use cases, you can get an AI to message somebody on WhatsApp. Like it
Why would
makes
I
no
do that?
sense. Why don't you just like message the person? you know?
But message
Does
what?
it can you like set it for like a time? Like, hey, do this at 6 a.m.
Not really. So basically, like I think it's becoming like a translation layer, as in you type out a big paragraph, maybe like you're writing an angry note to I don't know. Your
I feel like we're in
partner,
that
boyfriend.
over engineering phase.
Correct.
This happened in the internet too, when like the 90s, when everyone put everything on the internet, like way before it was appropriate. Like there were like movies and live streams and things that like no one could watch because like nobody had they just didn't work, right? And I
Right.
remember when like the internet was not cool, like in 2001, and they went back to like broadcasting those things on television. Like it literally went from like oh, everything's on the internet to like okay, now I think the same thing is going to happen where everything is AI right now, and in a year or two they'll be like, well, not everything needs to be AI.
Yeah.
And then
We'll
maybe
figure
it'll
out the
become
best use
AI
cases.
again. Yeah, which is fine. But if we're kind of early, and so people are just experimenting, like putting AI onto everything they can possibly put it on to just
Yeah.
see what happens.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't want an AI between me and another person. Like that doesn't make sense.
I don't. Dude,
I
it's
don't
funny
know.
you just mentioned that. I don't really use like Meta products. I'm not really big on Instagram. I haven't been on Facebook for like 15 years. I remember the day like I decided like I don't need Facebook in my life anymore.
Yeah.
And then WhatsApp is popular internationally. So I chat with people that I know internationally with WhatsApp, but in the US, no one uses it.
Yeah.
And so I never use it in the US, right? That's our other big property. I just don't use a lot of meta tools. There's no logic
weird,
for
yeah.
it, but
That's weird. In Canada, a lot of people use WhatsApp. I know in
Yeah.
America, lots of people use WhatsApp as well.
we had universal text for a while, right? And that was when
Yeah,
WhatsApp
that's
took
right.
off, and it was expensive country to country. And so that's my explanation.
Yeah. Okay. What else? What else is
Moving right along. Okay.
Do you guys cover the political stuff as well too?
We try
Stay away
not
from
to. We try to stay away from it.
Good.
But sometimes it's good. There's too much nerdy stuff to talk about this week.
I know. If it's like business related or economic related, I think sometimes we'll talk about it. But yeah, I don't want to devolve into some kind of
Yeah.
No, because there was a story of
whatever that is. I don't know what I would even call it, but
No, because there was a story of the Versal CEO meeting up with the
Oh,
Prime
okay.
Minister.
Yes.
And like there was a whole backlash of the engineers leaving the company because of that one single photo.
Yes.
who's leaving? I didn't hear about this.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
I don't want to model the waters because it's
we'll jump through these, and then if we have time, that is
I'm too busy playing with like AI fake reality.
Yes, exactly.
I think they released Sora on the same day to mop it up.
It's
Oh
true.
yeah, I had nothing else to focus on except Sora that day.
Okay, so I'm gonna rush through this really fast. I love Cloudflare. They come up with
They're still around.
Cool stuff. They are still around. MCP, as a lot of people know, is this like model contextual protocol thing that all the AI uses as tooling. Basically, they wrote this blog that talks about how to get LLMs to use tools more effectively. And the way that they figured it out is get to LLMs to write the code to use the tool. I've always had this. You have to read this blog post to get into it. I've always had this opinion. I'm just glad that they validated it. It's just a self.
It's like we were saying earlier about like using AI to write the prompts to power AI.
Exactly.
It's like the same concept.
Exactly.
Talk to each other.
To talk to each other. Exactly. Okay. Rushing through. Reddit is down 14%.
What did you do, Paul?
Paul, what did you do here? Yeah, exactly.
I didn't do anything. Okay, I'm actually think it's a non-news. So two pieces of separate news came out and their stock dipped. One is that a general dropping monthly and weekly active users. That is news. People are using Reddit less. Huge. We should all pay attention to it. But the second piece of news was a couple social media posts came out to say that ChatGPT references or citations of Reddit has dropped significantly from like 30% to 5%. I think that's a non-news. I'm not going to talk about it.
So is that why the use at Reddit dropped because ChatGPT stopped referencing it?
Reporters such as this is trying to connect the dots, right? They love to say that Reddit is losing favor with ChatGPT and Google. I don't really see it. I think it's just non.
But I mean, 14% drop is significant. If it's just over the last week,
it's already back up, right?
Over a while.
I bought the dip.
Yeah, the real news is just buy the dip.
Yeah, it's already back up, right?
It's a 14% drop after a 113% rise in the past 6 months. I think it's a non-news.
Okay.
It's a healthy correction.
Okay, yeah, that's normal.
Very, very healthy correction. That's pretty much all I want to say on it. ChatGPT Checkout. Gregory, I feel like you have something to say.
Back. No, we're expecting a delivery, of course, like during the live stream. And
nice.
It's all taken care of. This thing was super interesting. So what I liked about this was like, there's just all this really crazy news coming out from OpenAI. But I think I don't want to go too far, but I think in some ways this justifies the valuation. So what I think this shows, I think what they're trying to do is demonstrate that they have multiple large monetization opportunities. So this is like shopping. They could bring on a bunch of shopping applications, own some kind of like area in the shopping space where they can take a cut of the transactions, one of the largest markets in the world. They also have the advertising business. They have Sora that has like brand placements in addition to whatever kind of other advertising they release. So there's going to be like a media advertising licensing business. There's a potential for a commerce business, and there's probably some fintech platform or something they work in the back end. So if you think that like they could be a player in media and advertising, which is, in my opinion, arguably the largest business ever created on the internet, if you consider Yahoo, Google, Trade Desk, all of those businesses as advertising business, it's one of the largest businesses in the world, right? And it's like the monetization engine that drove the internet. And then you have commerce, Amazon, Etsy, Shopify. Like retail is arguably the largest business in the world, I believe, if you look at it globally. So they're chasing some really big opportunities. And I think that's what they're trying to show here, is that they can play in multiple spaces to justify the valuation. Like how successful this will be, I don't really know. I thought this was pretty clever, pretty interesting, and pretty promising. In some ways, I might be more excited or bullish about their ability to facilitate shopping than they are with like advertising. And the two also overlap, right? You have to remember that like the reason people buy ads on Google for the most part is to drive people to a shopping site in a very similar fashion to how like Amazon operates. And that's why Amazon has been taking more and more of like Google's advertising
search
business. Yeah.
Search and advertising. Okay. So question here, right? Now that ChatGPT is Apple gonna win here? Because they're still the platform that all of these apps exist on, right? They famously take 30% of all digital purchases. So like I know that they're showing physical products right now, but Etsy, Shopify, you can sell digital products as well. I feel like Apple, like we talked about how Apple is really a non-news in terms of all of this AI right now. But however, people kind of forget that all of these AI stuff is still happening on their physical device. Right?
Yeah. I mean, well, entirely fake Steve Jobs thinks Apple's going to win without a doubt.
Yeah.
So there's always that. There's always that angle, right? You know, they're in a powerful position, right? And like, you know, it's really clear that Zuckerberg is dead set on trying to find a way around Apple. It is incredibly frustrated that they have to go through the iPhone and the Apple layer to reach the customer.
Yeah, correct.
And he's not the only one who sees that as a challenge, right?
Yeah.
So Apple has the dominant position. They invented the greatest internet connected device ever on the planet. Everyone uses it. Everyone loves it. I don't really see anything effectively replacing it for a long time. So I think from that perspective, Apple remains dominant for a while.
For a while, yeah.
Will like they come out with the like? So this was interesting. Like friend. We didn't even put that in the docket. Like the friend advertising that's all over New York for the like friend AI device that people in New York seem to just loathe. Like, I'm not sure this was a good idea as much as they keep trying to spin it that, we're getting all this negative attention and they're trying to make fun of it. No one's buying that thing. But what I have heard is that, this thing is like, there's a lot going on here, but yeah, I'm not exactly, I don't think this was a good idea at the end of the day.
You don't think all of this negative attention and like resharing of their vandalized poster is not a good?
No, I don't think it's a good idea. I think everyone's trying to spin it as a good idea. I don't think this is smart. This is not good not good marketing. I don't believe all attention is good attention. And like, look, if this somehow showed sales are going up, I feel like everyone's proven wrong. They can't show that. There's like the reviews are bad, sales are bad. Like it's not having the intended effect. If what I believe the intended effect is to like sell the product, which is what I think it should be doing, and it's not doing that.
Right, sell the product and be a friend to people. This is not it. This
Yeah,
is not
I
it.
feel like New York was a wrong place for this rollout.
I
They
agree with
should
that
they,
too.
they should have used like a Canadian city.
Or even
Like
I think in San Francisco, people might have really got excited and embraced it.
San Francisco would have worked. Maybe
Yeah, I think
Austin.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, New York was the wrong place for that.
Yeah.
But the rumor I've heard is that the OpenAI device that Johnny Ives worked on is very similar.
Oh no.
I'm optimistic. I think they're going to nail it. They're going to come out with something cool, but like maybe not. I don't know.
Oh no.
You don't want one of those AI friends, Paul, like hanging out with you, going to dinner and stuff.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah,
But
it
it's
seems
that it's
everyone
like
in New
it
York
was.
agrees.
Have you looked at the actual the friend device and the whole
I haven't tried
scenario?
it.
But no, not that's right. But it's essentially it's somebody's recording all the time, and you just chat through like a text message. Like I despise talking to anybody in general. Like I don't need like an extra somebody to text message with. Like why? Like
It makes no
it's
Oh
sense.
man.
Whole thing makes no sense.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of conversation UI. Has been on for like a long time, like when Alexa came out, and I did some stuff. Even worked with some design firm on it. Like it's really cumbersome. Like pushing a button is easy,
yeah.
Correct.
and like the way phones work, pinch and zoom stuff, it's really easy to do a lot. And so I don't see how like talking through a menu, like option one, option like when you're on the phone and like you gotta listen really carefully, like wait, what was number 3? Repeat that again, right? Like that was not a great
It was
user
a terrible
interface.
UX. Absolutely terrible.
Yeah, and so I'm not a fan of that. There's a world I live in my head where you walk around with this thing and it listens to you talk and it does things automatically and it does things for you and it becomes really effective. Like I believe like in the design laboratory of my mind, there's a version of this that like is cool. Maybe it's just my imagination, but I can like envision a world where like I've got this thing and I walk around with it and it gets really good at like knowing where I go, listening to what I do, anticipating my needs because it's with me all the time and it can help facilitate that stuff. And if it was like minimal interface, so you don't have to do a whole lot, it just kind of knew things. I'm into that. I think that's kind of cool.
Right.
Like the Apple Watch has some elements to that people have called it like, there was a term at one point for this type of like activity. And these types of like devices, like they have to just kind of be on in the background, kind of like learning and doing things. I don't think they're going to be successful if they require a lot of like interfacing with it to get it to work.
Mm.
I just want one AI friend, and it's a tax person that just does all the taxes. And when I go to purchase, it says, "Nope, you're over the threshold. Put down the coffee or whatever." That's
Like a
it.
financial advisor, tax
No,
person.
just like somebody like like, and this is no joke, and this like the grievance had for a while that there's so many wonderful use cases that AI could be solving, and I feel like filing taxes is one of them. It's
Mm.
it's a complicated process by design, and most of the time it's just that period of time is just so stressful and so annoying, and it could be done so much easier with just a single really good AI product that just does that for you.
Mm.
And no one's doing it. But I think it's once again it's by design. Is that they want to deter you from maximum returns. That's why they make it so complicated.
Maybe you could raise money for that. Your tax AI friend.
I would love to. I'm
I
so
don't know if you guys were following me on Twitter. My take on the whole friend thing was like, why don't we just get funded with the antithesis of this, which would be bully AI, and it like bosses you around and it's mean and
it would be popular with the BDSM community.
it might be more popular because like it would be like really different. Anyway,
Yeah.
bully AI.
I actually think that's a good idea. You should make it happen.
Maybe those ads. Maybe you could fight back against those ads.
No,
I
but
think people in New York would have gone for that. Bully AI would be funny.
hell yeah. It also it could
Stanley likes it.
It could teach resilience in kids of how to overcome bullies.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, we gotta end on the meme.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to talk about this Canva thing really
Oh
fast?
yeah, Canva. Yeah, we'll do it really quick.
Okay.
Yeah, so Canva went down. and I was
Terrible.
very happy that they provided me this like nice site that I could go to, and it would keep me updated on everything that was happening. And I wanted to say like, thank you, Canva, for doing that. Paul tells me that this is common. I've like never encountered this before. I do remember the Twitter fail whale, which I was a huge fan of, and I know the creator of really well.
Yeah.
Was to create the fail whale, which I thought was brilliant. So
Yeah.
I'm into like clever and creative ways of handling issues,
Edge
like
cases.
or just failures, or just like graceful, degrading user interfaces or experiences where you take something that is typically not a great experience and you find a way to like
Right.
make it delightful for the end user. I'm a huge fan of that stuff.
You should follow the White House account on Instagram.
Okay.
The White House account?
Yeah, they're perfecting it to the T. It's like really just a meme account at this point, like an official White House.
That's amazing. Okay.
All right, we got to do the candles.
Okay. Memes. Okay. I thought this was a hilarious meme.
Yeah,
goes back to
this one was good. I don't know if everyone gets it though. This is based on that like ignore all previous instructions, prompt injection.
Yeah, correct.
People are doing across the internet to thwart AI scraping, and I thought this was a great response, or funny response
exactly,
to
to
AI
the-
launching their e-commerce platform. Yeah,
Exactly. Well, I mean, it got 4 million views, so people got it. I mean,
People get it.
I thought it was hilarious. What was yours?
Oh my God, the baby namer. So that the woman who charges $30,000 to name babies. Yeah, this was pretty funny. I'll read my take on this. So this article was like going viral on Twitter over the weekend or something.
Yeah.
I think I wrote this on my bicycle. I was out like doing my bike ride. Yeah, I really had. I just was like poof, like I had this thing came on my so the mom says to the kid, "We hired a globally recognized baby naming guru to come up with your name. Tell me why you're so curious to know where it came from." And the kid says, "Because everyone keeps laughing when I introduce myself as Taco Bell Gordita's registered trademark." And the mom just says, "But the ROI has been..."
This also reminds me, I don't know if you remember, there was an account, if Seinfeld existed today, and it was all the different jobs that George Costanza would have. And I feel like this would be perfect for him.
Dude, someone else commented that on that post. That post went super viral. Like, it's like, which is hard to do on LinkedIn these days. Like, get someone go like tens of thousands of views on LinkedIn. It doesn't happen anymore. But yeah, someone said that this sounds like a George Costanza job.
Yeah.
All right, Stanley, did you have fun today?
Absolutely, guys. Thank you so much for including me in this circle.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Right,
So that's it. We just fade out into nothingness.
That's it. We're all done.
Right into the sunset.
And scene.
All right. Bye, everyone.
All right, guys. Have a good weekend. Enjoy your empty house, I guess. I don't